So what I do is, before I come on these kind of hikes, I make sure I call my wife. It's usually always her. If she's either with me or she's not with me, there's ways of getting hold of her. But I will call my wife and I will let her know where I am and tell her she doesn't hear from me in a couple of hours to notify someone where I was. And the reason for that is that, you know, her first thought when I said that was, you going somewhere that's not safe, somebody going to interfere with you? No, that's not it. Where we're walking, look at it, look at the terrain. It's unsteady, it's not consistent, consistent paths going through it. We're actually feeling our way through a lot of this here, and therefore there is the possibility that I could fall out here or something could happen to me while I'm out here, you know, twist my ankle or something. You cannot get signal from everywhere. Just to let you know, this massive rock here, watch this. See movement? Be careful. Do not think that everything you step on is solid. Just do what I asked you to do, please, and that is just to test where you are and make sure before you put down your full weight that you're okay. If I was walking where I'm walking now in a pair of softwares or track shoes, they'd be done. They would already been cut up, and my foot would already have possibly have suffered some damage around the ankle area. My preference is, and Jeanette's preference is, 3/4 cut, not the actual full high cut. 3/4 cut, mid cuts is a term to as well as hikers would say, mid cuts, and that is that you give your ankle some protection with the kind of height of the boot itself. I'll just show you what I'm wearing because I want to give you an understanding. There are better ones, there are worse ones, but this is presently what I'm wearing. As you can see, it has on the toe buff on it. It has on the leather around here to stop any cuts and stuff, and it gives you massive protection around the ankle. So something like that is what you'll be looking for. Don't go and just buy a pair. I'm not saying it can't work, huh? I mean, you could probably come out here in a pair of track shoes or something and walk in the less or in the more worn areas where people are regularly walking, and you'll be fine. But we don't like to think we have to restrict ourselves, and therefore if you're buying equipment, we tend to save a little bit, buy the equipment, and then move from there so we can actually be relatively safe all the time. So that's what we try to do. All right, again, a better look at the coals itself. I know if there are any surfers on here now, or bodyboarders I should say, and surfers that know this break are looking at it now and saying, wow, I remember up here. Up here has some memories for many people. Some good memories and some bad memories. I've known people have had to get lifted out of here by their friends because they were injured, couldn't get up the cliff. So I do know here is very, very deadly. So the break itself, the plateau that comes down there is where you will come down. I will show you where you come down in a few minutes, but the break itself is just right there. You can see that shore break is coming through now. Very similar to Raggy Point, but the difference is that at Raggy Point you have the same type of cliffs and stuff to climb down. The only difference is that here is not in a big huge cove like Raggy Point is. This is sort of like a very small cove, and it's impacted a lot in every kind of movement or current. So you know, here can be a very hard place to find good conditions. I've seen guys, and I know of guys, and I have also been with some of them, that have driven here a couple of hours away from where they live, and when they get here the conditions were not favorable. So usually you will find guys coming here when they're absolutely sure, when there's definitely a very light wind and stuff, and there's a east swell. Sometimes when east swells are very big, or north swell is, yeah, lap swell here as well, but this is the line up here. As you can see, it's predominantly a right break. When we get in front of it, you get a little better view, but you can see there's really no beach to come in on. You wash in, stand up on rocks, and then you climb your way up from there. That's Coles Road, Coles Pasture, referred to by different ways, but it's still Coles. So the wall we mentioned before, the division wall is right here in front of us, is made up mainly of rocks and coral that has been picked up off of the ground and utilized as a wall or a barrier. I don't know if it was done. It's been around for many years. As far back as I remember, this wall has been here. It's actually broken quite a bit to what it used to be. Just to show you again what we're covering, where we're going. It doesn't look like anything maybe on camera, but I can tell you, you've got to be careful out here because you can trip up so easily. One wrong step out here, you're tripping up. First instinct is to put your hand down to break your fall. You already see what's a weight in your hand, so you don't want to be going to that measure. If you have to go to that measure, by all means go to it, but I really don't want you to go to that extreme. Just again, testing all the rocks, because sometimes these rocks can shift on the feet. So when you are coming from Bottom Bay Palmetto Bay or Smith Bay, any of those there. When you're coming from that direction and you're going towards the north, you're going to come, before you get to the East Point Lighthouse or Reggae Point Lighthouse, you're going to come to an area called Coles Pasture or Coles Road. There's a church, an assembly hall up on the road on your right hand side if you're coming from those areas I mentioned before, the south of where this is, and you will take that cart road. Now there's an old plantation in those trees up there. We get a better look at it, but I'll talk about it. Right behind this great bush, you'll see the calzarine trees, you can see the old relics of a plantation house there. So there's a road that goes in there. However, when up here gets a lot of rain, there's a marshy land that is on this side of the road that fills and goes over on the other side of the road. So you can stick up out here, try and get out here really easy. You can get out here and not get back in very easily as well. So just be careful, make sure whatever you're doing it with the knowledge of that. And that is why we're bringing you these vlogs again, because we don't want you to run on certain tracks, because in here again you may not see how deep the holes are because of the water in it. And if someone in a 4x4 has been going over it consistently during the time that or before, or even during the time that it was full of water, obviously you're going to get it digging deeper and deeper and deeper. So you are not going to be aware of that. So you may come in dry season, drive through something and get through it quite comfortably in a car. I said, Nicholas, you're talking bare nonsense, and then come back 3-4 weeks later on, come up beside you here and grunged off and have to get someone to tow you out. So caution, don't throw it to the wind, please. Use it to your advantage. All right, I just went across a huge boulder back there. That one, I don't know if you can really see it, but I stood on it and it actually did move about. So you have to be really careful out here, because there are a lot of big rocks that are not really stabilized because they're broken off, other pieces and rolled or whatever, or just fallen down flat below where they were. But they are not very safe, very dangerous out here, as I've explained to you before. If you hear me keep saying over and over about safety issues, etc., etc., please understand, I don't like to repeat myself, but I want you to understand how seriously dangerous some of what we're doing and where we're taking you is. Because there are areas in this island, they're beautiful. I've come out here, I would have to say, although I had not surfed here, I've come out here and parked in this cliff or surfed there between them together, I would say maybe 60 times. Because there are certain places I incorporate into certain island tours. Sometimes when I go out to the island, I've got 3 Century Island and come back in. Other times I resume where I was, etc. So it all depends on the mood I'm in and the duration of those drives. But here is one spot, I would say at least 50% of the time they pass this area, I will come out here. So I do see a lot of stuff out here, a lot of changes out here, even although I don't surf out here. So just be wary of a couple of things I mentioned, because they're not being said to frighten you, they're said to make you alert. Remember, if you're alert and you're aware of your circumstance around you, you're going to exercise caution and safety that is necessary for that awareness. So we like to make sure you're aware of everything. It's getting a little warm now. You have a lovely tangerine though, so I'm not worried. When I go to Deebles Point, I will stop, have my tangerine, and then I'll walk my way back to the war wagon and hopefully be able to take in some photos for you. Alright, so this is the break. This is what I'll let you understand. That's what you'll be surfing. However, when you're surfing here at Coles Road, you're not going to be surfing here. You'll be surfing out where that moss is right there now, you saw Gasm. Where you're seeing it with the thicker clump and getting to the finer clump, that is pretty much, you'll see the lighter blue where the sand is up, then you'll see the immediate drop off. Right there where that swell is swelling now, is beyond that would normally be breaking. It's when it hits that drop off is when it starts to go up. However, the days I'm talking about are quite big. So when you get those, it's going to be breaking, like I would say right where that swell is about swell now, that's where you'll be actually taking off and dropping. So you do get some really good rides out here for sure. As I said, mainly rights. When I surfed here, I mainly surf rights. I've seen 1 or 2 guys go left, but not too often. But you do get the exceptional wave that comes in. It looks perfect for left. Alright, so you're going to be coming in from the main road, just there, not that house there, to the left of that house in our camera. You'll be coming on a road that's coming down there. It's a good road to that point. Then from there it turns into a cart track. The cart track, you'll see some variations to it, because when it gets really wet, even the 4x4s vary and go a different way. However, when you start varying, you then start creating problems on the other areas you're going to as well. So please don't come up here and throw caution to the wind. It's a long way to get a tow truck to come and get you from up here, or to ask a friend and come and collect you from. So please be careful when you come up here. All right, we can do a little more walking. I'm enjoying this here actually. As I said, you know, we've done this here well over the last 3 years. I would say maybe 10 or 12 times for sure. Twice on video before, which were terrible, and that's actual doing the whole cliff. And twice with videos, and the other times have been without videos completely. Alright, so the going down to there is right here. So you understand, it's not just let's walk down. We took you to Deebles the other day. Deebles is easier to get down than this is to get down, and easier to get up, though it's a longer walk. Much easier, because here you're really in a rough element here. You're going down between cut rocks and cliffs and stuff, and you're going down to the surf break down here. So it's not the easiest of things to do. Very risky. If you're coming here to surf up here, I'm telling you, if you are a beach break surfer, bodyboarder, and you like really hollow, powerful suck up conditions, wedgie conditions, here and Foul Bay, two of the best spots for that for sure, without a doubt. They're the two best spots. However, because of the direction this is facing and the winds that constantly blow on this side of the island, is a lot more difficult to find surf here than it is to find some of the other breaks. On this side of the island is very temperamental, so to speak, because this picks up a lot of the winds and obviously can be affected by the winds out here. Nothing really sheltering it. So the drive comes up, the Cat Road comes up, it's going to bring you back to this young area where we walked just now. Actually, no, parking area is right here, and then you can go out and walk to it if you want. But the real main one is there, and then I see another track out here. So I guess there might be some very interest from some farmers in the area that may be feeding cows and stuff, which is very possible. You do find some cows out here as well. It's a beautiful day. If you choose to cut this up in sections, so be it. We've run, I would think, over an hour already. We still have quite a ways to go. That's Ragged Point Lighthouse in the distance, East Point Lighthouse if you want to call it that. We're going to be going just this side of the actual Spring Bay itself, and we will show you Spring Bay and thing. That would be Deebles Point. That's where we will stop it. The last two times that we did videos up here, we did them in sections. Our first section covered from Palmetto Bay to this point at Coles Road, and then our second section did Coles Road over to the same Deebles Point. But today we're going to do it all in one, and we put this up in one. We're not going to separate this up. We put this in one big one, and then you can scatter through it as you would like to scatter through it. Either walk with us the entire way or pickpocket where you want to go, and highlight what you want to see. Now when the swells are really big, especially when there's a big north swell, and you're down say around Bel Air Beach, or yeah, I would say Bel Air Beach, and then come around by St. Lawrence and Bottom Bay and those places, you will see, even on with the crane sometimes you can make it out, you will see a line of white water going way out into the ocean. That's pretty much it there. You can see the straight line of sargassum running across where the reef would be with the currents. So when you're seeing massive swells breaking, if you're looking from the crane, this would be from the crane resort, which would look around the point by Beachy Head and stuff, or if you're up say on the St. Lawrence areas and you look over to your left, you will see these waves breaking. When these waves are breaking across here, it means there's a huge north swell. It can pick up an east swell as well, but north swell is when it's most impressive because it looks like a white line that's going way out into the ocean. So that is one of the sections there that look like nothing will break. All that will turn into huge swells. Right, working our way down again and our way onward. It's beautiful over here, absolutely beautiful. Serenity and peace, unbelievable. Now this will be, everybody knows, or you may not know, so let me not say everybody knows, but anyone from St. Philip, and most people in Barbados will know, St. Philip is a 40-leg centipede breeding ground. So all these pastures and stuff we're seeing, the sour grass, etc., you're going to find massive centipedes and 40 legs out here, like when it's moister, and also when it gets darker, like in night time and stuff. You'll be out here and the earth seems to move. That's how it looks, to be honest with you. Sound like an Indiana Jones horror. There are the centipedes or 40 legs. So when you're coming into a place like this here, again, you have to be careful of that. Keep an eye out for that. We don't have snakes and likes of that. However, we do have big centipedes and 40 legs. And as I said, St. Philip basically, Christchurch you see really bad too, because really it's around sugarcane crops and fields where moisturized and mulchy and stuff is where you'll find a lot of centipedes and things, especially grassland like this here, barren grassland. So that is very possible to see. So just keep your eyes open. You generally don't see them, or I don't generally see them in the daytime, more of like a dusk or dawn setting. But I will make sure to keep my eyes open because I do know the ones up here I've actually seen centipedes bite through a man's fingernail, or hit him and go through his fingernail, right through his fingernail. So I will tell you how strong and powerful some of these are. The dark black ones, you don't want to get hit by them for sure. The red ones, you don't want to get hit by any. But there are two different kinds, and there are two different kinds of pain that are associated with them. But the black ones can give you a puncture wound in your finger that looks as though a huge thorn had gone in. That would be puncture wounds, because there are two wounds, one, not one, two wounds. All right, usually very close together. That's how you can differentiate. All right, so you see some people building some structures over here. I don't know if that was built as to do like a little barbecue or something under, or if it's built to style something, but that's being put together and then have a little hood over it. So maybe it's to just keep stuff dry in case it's rain and the fishermen are out here, or it could also be used to cook behind, because up here, as you can see, there's nothing but flat land. St. Philip known for that as well, flat land, and then it has a beautiful coastline. A lot of people don't even realize that. They would take an island tour around this island when they leave anywhere out by Concept Bay and start coming around, and then they come around by up by Raggy Point Lighthouse. They'll then think that from there on is all flat. Then I see cliffs and all beaches, but then you have all the beautiful hidden beaches that we've shown you some already at. We showed you two just around the corner from here. We've shown you Culpeper Island and the beaches in that section, Skeets Bay, etc. So you get comprehensive coastal information about Barbados in a much higher resolution now, which is beautiful, because it affords us to go into areas that we were getting bad signal. As I said, when we came through last times, it was terrible. That's before the days of even having meters. We just saw a signal bar on the phone and thought, oh, that's cool, we get a good signal, let's go and do a video. And then when we get home, half the video is black, or it's ghosting and all kind of craziness. It's even worse now. Places that we used to get very strong signals, we've seen recently looking horrible. So this looks like a sheltered area that's being constructed just in case there's a rain. You can duck under there, or maybe keep some stuff dry as well. You will see how many rod posts they have out here. They're the PVC white tubing, they're stuck into the cliff. That's, you can put your fishing rod in there, and you can have numerous fishing rods, and they can't really get pulled out, because you see the angles and stuff they're put at, and when you're casting down off the cliff, a fish can't pull them out. So you can take numerous strikes and work with one at a time without having the panic of losing your rod, or also only having one rod. So you see all of these different PVC tubings out here. You'll find these all around the cliffs in Barbados. It's something that's sprung up all over the island. It's not cosmetically very beautiful, maybe very practical, but not very pretty to see them all over the place. But anyhow, whatever. You know, it's a matter of a reason. There's a reason for it, so we understand what it's for. I don't know what was here. I can see there was something here, obviously maybe a lookout center or something, because you can see the 4 posts. They're here right now, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I guess it had something here. I have never seen anything here. I've seen the posts before, but didn't know of any structure that was here before, unless it was just a flat little platform kind of thing. See more steel out here as well too, so something would have to be out here at one time. Not too sure. Again, these are little things that you need to be aware of. You know, you can walk the beaches of Barbados along the coastline, actual beach itself. I'm not talking about off-road or anything. So on the beach itself, right on the coastline, on the west and south, you can find it. You'll find pieces like this here where they've had walls that were put up on the coastline. However, over the years, because of erosion, the wall no longer exists, and they've set up walls behind. However, the super steel is still embedded in the coral that the concrete was on. You can also find gables that are being put down that have corroded and wire sticking up too. So please be careful. When you hear someone say you don't need beach shoes in Barbados, ask them to specify what they mean. You don't need beach shoes to walk around on some of the regularly used beaches, like the Miami beaches and the Dovers and the Rockleys and many other ones I could call, but there's just some that come to mind immediately. You know, you can walk them up and down all day long and don't need a beach shoe. However, if you're exploring from coastline to coastline, you want a beach shoe. You're also going to want a shoe that doesn't come off, so make sure it's one that straps in. And you can also buy shoes now that can be multi-purpose, that you can have as a beach shoe, or you can have as a go-out shoe to supermarket, which I wear mine to all the time. And nobody even knows that they're designed beach shoes. They just think they're lovely soft shoes and want to know where you can buy them from. So you can get some nice stuff as well and wear them out casually. Alright, so you can see more of the crystallized salt there, salt from the seawater. And that's Double Point just over there, which we're making our way towards. Still got a little ways to go, so we're just going to take our time. As I said before, we are bringing you, you're walking with us, we're not highlighting anything. I know some people like highlighted videos and just little little snippets and stuff just to capture the curiosity. That's not what we're catering to. We're not trying to capture your curiosity. We're trying to show you Barbados. We're trying to show you what we do. We're trying to show you the journey we're on. And we're doing this here because there are a lot of people that can't make this kind of trek. Whether it be they can't get here because they're flying from overseas, don't have a car in Barbados that they can get here, don't really know who to go with, whatever the cases are. There are many people that do not have the privilege of some. So we want to make sure that those who don't have the privilege now have the opportunity of seeing their island, where they call their island, or where is their home. We just want to make sure that we give that opportunity. We don't want to keep this to ourselves. Remember, this is the beauty of Barbados to our eyes. Anything that we deem beautiful or that we deem interesting, we're going to share with you. Whether you think it's interesting or not, we're going to share it because we think it's interesting. As I said earlier on today, this is our journey. So we do what really appeals to us, where we get our healing from, you know. So that's what we do, and hopefully those others that are on their own journeys will walk with us towards their positive light, and together we can do so in good friendship and love and kindness and honesty and sincerity. Right, going back on the track again. See a lot more here, and a lot more steel as well. Remember, a lot of these cliffs here had cranes on them. Crane Beach had a crane. Here has a crane as well, or had a crane, not as big as a Crane Beach, but here had a crane as well. Used to lift stuff from boats up onto the side. We'll show you that in a few minutes time. We'll show you something that you probably have seen with us before, because we've done it before. We did it in live vlogs, I think. Yeah, we did in live vlogs, we've shown you from the other side, but I don't think we've actually been down there on a full vlog. We've shown you some of it, but not all of it. Hopefully today we'll be able to show you all of it. Going a little bit off of the actual cliff, as you should have seen just now, we showed you rain, nothing below here. So we're not leaving you in the dry and not letting you not see something. We're just taking this here because it's the easier route, and because I know how long we've already been on here. Now we're going to come to some of the sharpest coral that we've encountered for the entire walk. We've had some very sharp one here as well, but in this section here we're going into now, very sharp, razor sharp, just waiting on you and your foot. So please be careful. Again, we see another wall here, so it is a possibility that this used to be a land division. Okay, this is a solid wall that used to go down here that's all broken now. You can see that quite clearly. So maybe from here to the other side of Coles was a property owner's, so they erected the walls just to make sure there was a clarification of the actual boundary marks, because you can see same thing was here. Rocks have fallen down now. Look at the coral and you'll see, not this immediate section, but look at all the cliff area here, and you can also look on the sides here. You'll see it changes quite a bit. This here is razor sharp. I'm running my fingers over here, it feels like needles. I mean, if I put any weight on this, this would definitely cut my fingers without a doubt. So again, these are little things you want to make yourself aware of. Remember, if you take a trip, first instincts, put down your hand, see what you're going to put your hand on. So just try and avoid the trip, and do what we can, the best we can, to make sure and keep this safe and comfortable. As we're getting closer and closer to Foul Bay now, sorry, to Raggy Point, my apologies. It happens sometimes, thinking about something else I'm working on. You know, I don't think anyone quite understands what we really put in, and it's not for anyone, it's for ourselves. We putting this in because this is bringing us healing and this helps us, you know. But I don't think anybody really understands what we do and how hard we work on what we do, because we want to make sure and cover everything for you, you know. We want to make sure and show you everything we possibly can. You see how much further we got to go? We got a long way to go still, but we're going to get there. We're going to walk our way around. We actually have to get over past that point there, is where we're going to. That'd be Devil's Point itself, but we want to show you everything anyhow. What we may do is, because of the length of this area, because I think we're about an hour and a half now into it, we still have quite a bit of walk to go. So because of that, we'll probably do this in two sections, of part A and part B. We will post both at the same time, but it will give you a chance to work on one and then work on the other. But these are the areas that a lot of people don't ever see in this island. You know, a lot of people have no clue about these areas, and this is why we really started the journey when COVID came in, was so that we would be able to share things like this here with everyone. As you will see, the fishermen have a beautiful little spot here. This is their little shelter spot, so if any rain is falling or if it's really hot, they can sit in this and keep their rods out. You'll find these here, we saw them already coming around, but this is a much better one here because it's actually laid across the entire section. You can see the rod holders as well. Look at the transparency of the water is absolutely beautiful. It is absolutely lovely up here today. The colors are vibrant. You know, as I said, it is looking through glass almost. It's not quite glassy to look through, but you can still see the reef quite clearly and the different sections there that have sand on it, etc. Right, so we're going to make our way around there. As I said, this is why we did it last time in 2 parts, or not last time, but both times we've done up here before we did it in 2 parts. One ended, as we showed you before, by up where the coals is, and then we started from there and did this other one because this section is actually quite long. You don't believe it, you don't realize it when you leave Coles Road. You think, oh, it's just the next point, but it's not the next point. It's right around this actual cove here and into the next one. So we're going to take you on it right now. As I said, because of the duration, we're really taking a really comprehensive look at this. You know, I could have run across here in half the time, but what would that show you? Nothing really. We want you to experience this here as best as we can. So we're going to make our way across here gently and easy as we do, step by step, with you walking with us side by side and bringing the beauty of Barbados to our eyes. So we're coming slightly away from the cliff. You would have seen what the cliff had to offer. There's really not much to see over there. Not much we're not seeing on the other side of this big, huge cove area. So that's pretty much what you'll see. But we're walking that direction anyhow. But that section over there is where all here, as you would have seen, razor sharp coral. The closer you get to the cliff, the more sharp it's going to be, because unlike here where it's being worn from walking on it over a period of time, people tapping on it as they're walking, etc., over by the cliff has not got that kind of softness on it or that kind of smoothness on it, so it can be very hazardous and very dangerous. Likewise, we're walking across here through the soft grass and there are going to be coral heads all over. It's not a smooth foundation we're walking on. This would obviously, the tracks that you see here would have been people have walked on it and kept walking on it, so it would be the better of the routes. But you can find coral heads sticking up in here, so don't say, look at this here, be looking over at that and walking forward, because walking forward there could be a coral head sitting right underneath this grass. You know what's going to happen, it's going to put you down. All right, demonstration thing. Coral head, not a rock, coral heads. These are not going to move when you kick them. All right, so if you kick them, they're going to hurt real bad. So they're just little things I want to show you as what's the underlying problems that can be here for you. So be wary. A lot of what we're saying, some people will think, nah, you don't need to say that. You think people are stupid? Me, myself, I tripped up so many times over these rocks and I know exactly what I'm doing out here. I've done it hundreds and hundreds of times. Not once or twice. I haven't hiked around this island once, twice. We've been hundreds of times on these beaches, so you know, it's and cliffs, so we are aware of it, but we still make a mistake because we drop caution to the wind sometimes and forget what we're talking about and go and practice the wrong thing and find ourselves in precarious situations. So we will continue to reiterate it all the time because it's something that needs to be done. Human is to make nature, human is to make error. That's just the nature of human. I remember when here had no homes at all, 0 homes here. All this would have been some cane land up there and grassland. But all this area would have been, not right where we are, but halfway across there would be all developed in canes and stuff. They would have had a village that would have bordered right on the left and right of the main road up here, but would not have come down in this direction except for the plantation house, which I showed you just now. So all that is sort of like new in my lifetime. It's beautiful. See more coral heads again. Just showing you, because if this was lush and green, you wouldn't see that. It's moving nowhere, so you kick that, you're in trouble. Keep your eyes alert all the time. As I said, you don't want to fall down out here. You know, you may fall down out here and find yourself falling into that, because it may be right next to where you're walking. You may trip and fall in that direction, so keep your eyes always alert. Look off, look back again. Beautiful cliffs, so really, really beautiful, beautiful cliffs. I remember the first time, not the first time I walked this, but the first time since we started the journey when I walked this. I remember when I said, looking at the map, we can do it in 2 sections, as I had explained to you before what we did. One to as far as Coles Road, and then from Coles Road on. However, when we came on it, we thought it was going to be a lot shorter. We thought, it's going to be a lot shorter. Like when we got to this point here, I assumed on the first time they came back out here that it was Devil's Point. And then they said, oh shoot, besides this baby, we gotta go around to get to it. Yeah, we got a long way to walk still. So again, we're gonna put this in 2. I've forgotten how far it was again. We will put it in 2 for you, part A and part B, but we will be carrying them both together. But we'll probably dissect them the same way. First part up the Coles Road, and then second part beyond. So that seems to go to well into the balance of it overall. But you can see the kind of homes that go out here. Some even little apartment complexes and stuff as well. Look at the size of some of these homes. A lot of these homes are flats or 2-story homes. Bottom part being rented out or top part being rented out. It all depends on preferences, of course. But up here, lots and lots of buildings going on. Not the commercial buildings, but the residential and properties. Well, I say commercial, I mean like businesses and stuff. Yeah, maybe rentals, but not supermarkets and big things like that there really. This coastline is so pretty. I want to bring you here, let you look at different shapes of the coral here as well over the further cliffs. More of a shaly thing, like layers and layers and layers. You would have seen where we were walking so far, that basically those layers are what we were walking on, where we're seeing slabs breaking off, but it's still on top of a solid rock, similar to that there. But then you can see the huge fissures along here, or cracks and weak spots along here, fault lines, just there waiting to break off over the years. It's going to happen for sure. We've seen a lot of breakages already, and we will see more to come. I am so impressed with this camera that Jeannette has loaned, well, has put into the Journey 246. It's our camera. She has hers, I have mine. This is our camera. But I'm so impressed with this as it's standing up to the heat, because the one that I use running 4Ks in this kind of intense sunlight would have definitely overheated already. We were at, yeah, they were at Agrifest, and I actually had to beg the wine lady to put the camera into the cooler. I hadn't even used it. I was just setting it up in the sun, and I was sitting down there for a little while, and it was too hot when I went to start it. It was too hot. I had to put it into the ice cooler in a plastic bag for a couple of minutes, cool it down and start again. This one so far is stood up extremely well. We are now into close to 2 hours of vlogging with this, and it's worked like a dream. Absolute dream. So baby, thank you. Your contribution to the journey is amazing. Thank you very much. Alright, we don't want to take you away from how close you are to homes here now. So obviously, as you would know, roads will be down here. You can actually drive down here as well. And I can't remember the name of it, Industry Hall. I can't remember the name, maybe I call that wrong. But there are quite a few different roads that will bring you down here. The one that will bring you down to Devil's Point, a little more hard to find. However, I know there's an art gallery in the general location. So if you get near Raggy Point, you see a big thing saying art gallery this way. That would be the road that you would follow to get to where we're going to end this here today, just to give you an understanding. So that would be the way to find it. Cliffs, beautiful elevations, very, very high here. As you can see, there are different heights, cliffs all around. It doesn't stay at one height. So over there is a lot lower than over here. That's just how it is. Just like when you get to Ocean City and Foul Bay, those cliffs up there are very, very high, extremely high. When you go further around, like around Paragon cliffs and stuff, they're in double elevations. You will see these step ups at Paragon. You have one cliff at maybe 40 feet above water, then you go back a few hundred yards, and then you have another cliff or rise that is about another 10 or 15 feet high, meters high. So it all depends on, maybe not that tall, maybe about 8 to 10 meters tall. You will find them inland, whereas here it's, and also Ocean City, one elevation straight up from the water to the top, and then nothing beyond that, flat, flat, flat. So that's a little thing for you to note as well. Likewise on the north of the island, and as you come around to the west, you lose the actual cliff area. Similarly to when you're coming from the north to the east, you lose it around Bashba area as well, and then the elevations are further inland. These are all the real cliff areas. But I do know that some of the properties up here rent, so if you are interested in staying in this section or seeing what up here is like, or living in nature as up here is, you can find accommodations up here, I know that for sure. Just use your Google Maps and use some realtor companies, and you will find the location. This is just beautiful. So we're a little off the actual track. You can see it running slightly inside of us, so we get back to that in a minute. But we just want to come along this section here and get a little view looking back at the cliffs. As I said before, we won't be vlogging back in the other direction. I don't think we'll ever do this here. I shouldn't say we won't. I said we don't think we will ever do this here, that we're walking right now in the reverse, or even do this again on a vlog or video, unless there's a big change on the coastline, because we now have the 4K resolution, which is going to be very clear. We don't have any fears of going to a certain spot or leaning out here, leaning out there, walking behind a building for fear of losing signal. We can actually take you right around, which is beautiful. So you will notice that we'll be starting up. We started for the last couple of weeks, and we will be continuing with the Q&A community on a 4K resolution until the Wi-Fi bandwidth changes here, or the bandwidth in Barbados changes back to what it was, gets back up to the stage it was at. Because right now all that's happening is we're going out there, but in our time to bring you to the location with us, so you actually feel as though you're there, but in hours on end going back home and find it ghosting and stuff, and no one's really interested in watching it's ghosting. So we decided, well, no, we're going to start putting some 4Ks. And we'd also already started Jeannette's pet project with the hidden beaches and treasures in 4K resolution, so we are familiar with the 4K, and therefore we're going to start utilizing a little bit more of that, as we've explained to you in past vlogs and stuff. Maybe when this goes up by then it'll be also rectified, which I doubt very much, but hopefully we'll be able to get back to the live broadcast a little more often. But right now we're going to be continuing with the 4K resolution. Even if it's a sunrise, we may go to 4K if the area does not have a good bandwidth. But we can look back here again. You can see the kind of faults that are starting to occur, and that's filled in with a lot of land and stuff. This would have probably just fallen downward a little bit, possibly. It could have been this way right through, but it looks like it has fallen a little bit. You can see the cracks that's underneath there as well. But beautiful though. This is what you had to call real barren area. You know, St. Philip is a beautiful coastal parish. The insides of the parish is beautiful too, but it's flat, very flat. Doesn't have much character. However, when you get to the coastline is when you see the true beauty of St. Philip opening up for you, as you are seeing right here now. We're still in the parish of St. Philip. We started in St. Philip. We're going to end in St. Philip today for sure. So all this area is the cliffdale area of St. Philip. Remember, St. Philip runs from here. Well, it runs from before here, but where we're standing, St. Philip would then continue to run from here right across St. Mark's Church. After you pass St. Mark's Church, the main road just below that with the graveyard, that turns into St. John. Beautiful. So we have a nice little treat for you coming up. We've not only shown you the beautiful cliff areas, but we're going to show you another something. You've seen it probably in our videos before if you have been walking us for a long time, because we have covered it a few times for a few different things, but today we're going to bring it to completely different. Our intention is to really bring it to comprehensively, and that's what we're trying to do right now. So you'll notice how long this walk has been so far. We haven't really stopped anywhere. We walk fairly consistently. We didn't stop for pictures or anything, just to show you different locations from different pinpoints. However, it is quite long, so if you're doing this here, be of a certain fitness level, because what we've walked on, we have to re-walk. So what it's taken us close to 2 hours to get to here is going to take us the same duration to get back. So although we do it a little quicker going that way, because we won't be like looking for the best spots for vantage point view spots, we will be just taking our cleanest way back, which will take off a few minutes, but still a very long walk. So the moral to the story is, bring your water with you. Make sure you have on a cap, and if you can, if possible, bring some fruit so you can keep replenishing the natural sugars and stuff. So you can enjoy this even a little more. Very barren, very dry. Right now, still got traces of green. I've been up here where everything looks as though a bomb had hit it, all completely burnt up, and just looking like completely dried out and completely burnt up. All right, I just kicked the coral head. You may have noticed the stutter in my voice, so that's just an explanation of why it's important to wear your hikers, and also to be careful how you're transferring weight from one foot to the other, because I didn't stumble. I just had a little jolt in my voice, as you would have heard. Here, as we mentioned, very sharp coral. This is razor sharp. So just be careful, please. Be very, very careful. The last thing you want to do is fall out here. That's the very last thing you want to do. Beautiful though. Hopefully you were able to get a cooler or have your drinks nearby or your food nearby to snack on, so that you'll be able to enjoy all of this with us. Look at these cliffs. You have another aspect coming up shortly. Another project of Jeannette's. Not going to say any more about that right now. All I can say is that please don't ever think that we are sitting dormant and not trying to come up with something to keep your interest and show you the beauty of Barbados and the beauty of Barbadian people and people who live here. So we're always going to be coming with different angles just so we can bring you, because you know we bring you back to the same places, unless it's like here, which we've only brought you twice in the past. We'll bring you back to places that you've seen many times. But what we want to do is to make sure that when we come back, it's something of interest to capture you. So we have little things we're working on all the time. I know there's very few of you who will watch these in their duration. I don't blame you. I get bored of it myself. Not bored of doing them, but when I'm finished doing them, the last thing I want to do is listen to them. I remember when I first started out on the journey. And in those days, it wasn't the Journey 246. It was on the EMC-Gatherings journey. When I set out in those days, I remember quite clearly trying to come home and watch every video, or on the way home from a video or vlog, listen to myself and see what I had said, if I had said it right, if there's anything that I said is contradictory, etc, etc. Those days are long gone. Since the Journey 246 started up, I have not listened back to anything unless someone has raised a point where I need to listen back to it, because I just do my best. I don't try, I do my best, and my best has been done, and therefore you've seen the best that I have to offer. So I no longer think of what could I have done better. I more just try and relax myself into it and absorb everything for myself. Like right now I'm walking here with you on this route here, and I'm taking in everything around me. I'm taking in the sounds of the waves, taking in the breezes, the change of breezes. Just so we had a little shift to the east, out to the south, a little bit more to the east. You know, the stronger element as well that came with that blast as well. Little things like that, capturing and keeping my attention, because they're the things that make the journey interesting. Looking around you and finding beauty in everything and everyone around you. So that's what I continuously strive to do. Even through my talking, talking to me is like breathing now. So I can talk, visualize, absorb at the same time. It's quite interesting actually. All right, let's look back at this cove the last time before we go around the corner. It's a lot more than you may have thought. When we first got over there and said we were going to walk over here, you can see it's been quite a walk for sure. This is 1 hour and 7 minutes since we restarted this video, which was way back close to the development that was going to be happening at Palmetto Bay. So we've got about 2 hours into it right now. So you will get a part 1 and part 2 of it. Right over there is the weather station. That's where we're going, Deebles Point. Remember, that's D-E-B-B-L-E-S point. I know the first time I heard someone call it, oh, here we go, this is what I want to be explained to you, things like this. I actually just tripped on this, and that's because I did look off for a few minutes. So just be wary, they're the kind of things that we're talking about, going across the paths and tripping on. Again, I am taking it very easy going across here, and when I do walk, I'm pretty much testing everything before I fully put my weight on it. Not everything, but in some areas where I cannot see too clearly, I do check first. But when I was walking across a clear path, I forgot we're looking at the vine. There you go. Not living by the words that I say. I try not to do that. Try to make sure, and whatever I say or mention that helps me, utilize those, they're called tools, to make sure that I can deal with the situation in the best possible way that I can. Sometimes all the rules in the world, all the knowledge in the world of how you're not supposed to do something, your body and your mind still does it, and that is only because we're human. It's not that we intentionally doing to hurt anyone or upset anyone, it just happens, you know. So that can happen sometimes. Sometimes intentionally we do it, and then we use the excuse, all right, we go over this track a little bit, don't walk over that sharp coral. We were talking about the very, very sharp coral as it there, so we're just going to get onto a closer path in here. It's not going too far off, just a little bit back there. Yep, so, you know, I try to do my best to be, no, I do my best to be the best that I can. Sometimes I go to bed and I'm not happy the way I was. That can happen. And then the next morning, well, first thing before I go to sleep, I ask forgiveness. And next morning, I'll ask God to start all over again. Ask Him, thank Him for blessing me with life. And ask Him, please, to take care of my will and make sure that I walk in the light that He wants me to walk in. So I do it every day of life. We're walking through a lot of rocks here right now. It's not a clear path, but it's a more visible path and not as broken a path as what we were on. As I said, we still have quite a ways to go, so we want to make sure we do it safely. And I also have to look at get my bearings for going back, because this is quite a ways back. Not that I have a problem with it, I'm actually enjoying this immensely. So they've had homes, they're sprouting up all over, such as that one there. Has a swimming pool in there as well, right at the very front. Not a big one, but a small one there, looks like a patio. And then there's a lot of room and stuff inside there, a beautiful balcony. I don't know if that's used year round, or if it's only a retreat home, a summer home, or what, or if it's rented. But I've noticed that in there for quite some time now. You can actually see the rust that's starting to make a mark on the wall, stain the wall coming out of the actual metal that would be in the top there, but where the pool is, you can see the little handle for the steps right behind the lattice, if you can make that out. I'm not sure, but that's where they are, a small pool, quite beautiful. I mean, you're up here and you're just meters from the sea, but you can't go and see here and swim anywhere. So I think if you can afford to build a big house, it'd be nice to put a little pool or a cooling pool on it for sure. Don't know what this wall is all about. I actually been seeing this here for a little while now. It's not brand new, but you can see from the concrete or the cement, the color of it, that it hasn't really weathered completely yet, so it is fairly recent. Again, not sure what this is about. I don't know if this is going to be a wall a marker of a wall of a property or something. Maybe if there were more here, I would think it would be, but I'm not too sure what it is. But no one's just going to put up a column for no reason, so it probably is a marker or something, again, as we've seen the other side with the loose rock that was put up as a wall. So all in front here, all this coral, as I said, very, very, very sharp, very dangerous. I mean, there are little things coming off of here that are pulling at your lacings and looking to put you down. So be careful, exercise all the caution you can going across these places. This is a much better path, but again, coral heads sticking up, you won't see if the grass is higher, which can happen at any time of year we're getting rainfall. So just exercise caution for me, please. See another property mark over there, it looks like. So it looks as though, same column that we saw just now, it looks as though that's marking a property of where they plan to put either, I don't know, posts along or something or whatever, but there are definitely some kind of intentions. There's been a marker, because you can quite clearly see that there for sure. I'm not too sure the sensations that you all are getting while you're watching this. I'm hoping it's that you feel as though you're here and that you're just walking with us like friends. Walking, that's what we are. Walking like friends and listening to the commentary as we're going through bit by bit. Maybe learning a little bit, maybe just capturing an interest for something you want to do. Maybe it's something you will say no after you've seen it. Boy, I don't really want to walk across there, so let me not put that in any of our gift lists or any of our lists. Let's just make sure and avoid that, because we don't want to take that in, annoy that. If you want to see it, we've just seen it. That is hopefully what will happen, or you will say, I want to feel that. But if you do really want to feel serenity and peace and absolutely, let me just gently go through here, because we just talked about this kind of environment that we're walking through and a type of landscaping. Right, so yeah, we're hoping it will spark your interest and that you will take out here one morning early or one evening when it's a lot cooler, because right now it's pretty intense, pretty hot. I'm alright in it, but it could be difficult for certain people. But put it in the morning or late afternoon and come and do some walking, and walk in an area where there's going to be no one, where you can really truly enjoy this beautiful, beautiful nature at its best. Alright, we're going to work our way back, but look at the coral. We talked about sharpest coral on the island. This would be some of it for sure. I don't mind what kind of footwear you have on. You don't want to be really walking across this. I'm going to go around it because I really don't walk across. I am confident that my boots will be fine, but any of these little spikes that break, or anything that may catch the side of the boot or whatever, is going to try and put me down on it, and I certainly do not want to go down on that. That would be the last surface I would want to be touching at any time soon. I know my wife was, saying, wow, he told me if I didn't hear from him in 2 hours. So, she will get ready to make her calls. So what I will do is, well, when I get to the end here, I will show you all something, and then I will give her a call. I'll actually give her a call before I show you what I want to show you, because that will still be another 20 minutes on top. I just want to know I'm okay, all is well. You have to do that if you're going to be exploring by yourself. I like to explore by myself or with Jeannette only, to be honest with you. I don't mind walking with a few people, but there are a lot of people that want to join us on walks that can't do this. Just physically cannot do this here, and the responsibility of bringing someone across this coral and then fall, the responsibility is on me for bringing them here, so I wouldn't feel very happy. So there are very few people that I would really bring on a walk such as this. I would do it with Jeannette for sure, and I do it with a couple other people I know, but there are very few that I would do so. And again, it's not because I think you can't make it, it's because I don't want you to fall, right, or hurt yourself, because this is a lot more strenuous than it looks. It looks as though it's quite easy to walk across. I am making it very easy because I feel pretty good on it, pretty comfortable. However, this is not the easiest thing to walk across, especially when you have to consider going back the same way again. So I have my fruit, which I'll have before I take my return trip. Alright, this is where we turn the corner now. This is known as Deebles Point. This whole section here is called Deebles Point. That's D-E-B-B-L-E-S Point. A lot of people like to have discussions over it. I'm going by what I know for sure. I've seen in all the maps and in the maps that I follow, and the ones that we tend to use because they're landmarks and names of places that we use ourselves. So this is Deebles Point here. Take it to you now. And then when we get to the top, I will call my wife, because I know I'll get a signal right here just for a minute. Call her, let her know everything is fine, and then I will then continue and show you what I brought you here to show you, really. Well, actually brought you to show you everything that you've seen, but to actually see what I'm about to show you is why I brought you in this general direction. You always have to be careful too, I find, on these kind of areas, because you walk down a path and then realize, oh my gosh, I gotta go so far to get back to where I should have taken a fork, and then you push yourself to take a shortcut, and then lo and behold, you find yourself in a lot of trouble. So just be careful what you're doing. If you've gone off route, don't go over an area that looks dangerous just to get back on route. It's better if you were to stop, check it out for a little while, and then proceed gently. Don't go and risk yourself going over anything. Alright, we're going to come in a little bit because that breaks off there. We're going to come along this way here, and we're going to stop on top of this cliff when we get to look towards Raggy Point in a couple of seconds, and then we will talk to you about a couple of things we want to mention after that. But I will make that call, just check in, just say everything is good, just so she knows what's going on and that she feels comfortable that I am okay out here, and she doesn't have to go and raise any alerts that are unnecessary. Again, be careful. I'm walking through a grass area with no path. I am watching everything that I'm doing. I'm lifting my feet very, very high, and I'm placing before and testing before I commit myself to the step. Alright, so we're going to take you from here. Another part will be added on to this here, but I need to make that call now. It's 2 hours. I asked her to check it. I'll call me in 2 hours. She can't call me, so I will call her. We will talk a little bit more of what we're seeing here. We'll see you in a couple of seconds. So you will get a mix right here, but it's not anything you're missing. We're going to start right back up. All right, so I've touched base with your wife, just let her know I'm good. We'll have a couple more checkpoints I need to call her in from on the way back and stuff, but it's just call taking it safe and easy, and putting all the measures in place in case anything did ever happen. You know, you never know what's going to happen or when it will happen, so make sure to operate with that in mind all the time. All right, so in the center of the camera, because of the overhead light and the shadow that's being cast there, you can't really see, but that's what's called Spring Bay. When I started bodyboarding and surfing here, well, bodyboarding mainly, they used to have a huge cliff that used to overhang there, and a cave that was up underneath. You can see the lighter color of the cliff there. However, the coconut tree that was on top of that cliff, along with a lot of other stuff, came down. The whole side of that cliff came down. Therefore, there's no overhanging cave anymore, and there's nowhere to go in there and shelter anymore. Because of all the rocks coming down, there's no beach that was there before, because in summer you used to get here as a beach, quite a big beach as well. You at low tide you could have come and sat down this beach while people surfed and stay on dry sand. High tide you would have moved yourself back up into the elevation by the cave and watched it again. However, there's no beach here at all now, because the only thing that's here now are rocks, and I don't know if sand will ever literally cover it. But this surf break here is called Raggy Point. It's the second one that's on our walk today. This is one of the deadliest breaks around as well. To get down to see even harder. In my days, we used to park just up there to the right of this house here on the center of the camera, to the right of that. We used to park there and walk down a goat track down there. Now you have to actually come from way up by the lighthouse and walk in goat tracks underneath the ridge and go under, which we've also done, which we will do again in the 4K again, but we already did it in the 4K, so we're not really in an urgent rush to get back there to show you that again. So we're going to show you now the interesting thing that we actually brought you here for as well. You may have seen it many times. You may have been over at Raggy Point and you have looked in this direction and seen this from over there and wondered what was going on and what exactly it was. Some of you may come here and not really pick it up. Some of you may have driven out here and actually gone down here, but we're going to take you down here today. It's not the safest of places to go down. Now, the last time that I came up here, I was following Brian Talma in the Last Man Standing, Palmetto, Barbados. And that wasn't last year and the year before, it was 3 years ago. And I came around here and there were huge swells. And I came up here and was showing people what up here was like. Now obviously the signal, I did a live from down on the shelf itself, and I did a live on top. But didn't actually have a chance to take you down, like you see the steepness of these steps and what you're actually going down onto. So I've taken my time, and that's what I recommend anyone that's coming down here to do, because these steps, the edges of them have broken off over the years, they've worn. So make sure that when you're coming down here, always have a hand on this wall holding on to something, because if you do trip here, you're going to end up in that sea. There's no way in, and you'll be injured so badly after all the hits that you will take here in this cliff and cuts you will take here, that you may not make it in. So you don't fool around out here. You make sure to exercise all the caution you can. Look, this is the steepness that we're dealing with, just to let you see. It is not an easy walk down here. You can see the breaks and the rock and stuff. It changes from time to time. Sometimes you get lost, you spray up here because of waves breaking on the other side and coming over there and coming down, and you will get wetness in this area that can put you down quite easily. So always hold on to something when you're coming up here. That may sound silly, but that's what I would recommend for sure. So this is Deebles Point itself. The day that I came up and did Brian Talma up here, I've been out here since then, but that day was a large swell. No, sorry, that's not right. It was a swell I was chasing around the island, a big hurricane swell they came up here for. Came down these steps here, and then these sets picked up so big that going back up these steps, you were actually going up in breaking waves that hit the cliff and were coming over there. So very, very dangerous. That is one day I would have to say that I was a puppet to even think of coming out here, but I wanted to do it because I was here. I thought, oh, that's fine, no problem, easy to make that there. It wasn't that easy whatsoever. We talked about a crane being here. There was a crane here, as you can see. That's the foundation of a small crane that was here. They also had a home. They used to overhang the cliff up here. They had a metal girdles on it, and they used to lift things like fish pots and different catches and nets and stuff up onto the cliff, and also items from the boats, or let down items to the boats who were going off here fishing. That has gone years ago, but it's still up there. You can barely see the foundation there. Again, you can't see into Spring Bay because of the lighting and the overhead lighting and the shadows of the cliff. Spring Bay is directly in the center of the camera there. That's what is called Spring Bay. Of course, you would know Raggy Point Lighthouse. And then this point, as you said, it's called Deebles Point. It'll take you right around the edge. It is a little bit frightening around some of these areas here, especially if it's a big swell. I've been out here on days when the swells are so big, and not even talking about that day, that swell was coming. It was coming from southeast that day, so it was going in here big. But I've been out here on days when there were huge swells coming in, and the swells may not have been actually coming over this cliff, but they felt that way. They were terrifying. When you were seeing them coming through here, you weren't sure of what was going to come over the cliff and what was going to miss the cliff, so you didn't really hang around. But I've been out here under some very treacherous conditions in the past, and I don't intend to ever do that again. Today is mild, you can see the swells here, they're not coming in, but they do give you a funny sensation as though you shouldn't be standing here, but we want to bring you here for this purpose to add into this video as well. Absolutely beautiful. But remember, just exercise caution, all right? Caution is the most important thing. Know your ability and your limitations. Now, you would have seen, if you were up at Raggy Point taking pictures, which have been right up there in the center of the camera, just in front of the lighthouse on that pasture, you would have seen some fishermen on these cliffs. They go right across here. They actually scurry across these ledges and go right across and fish, and they also fish from down below here, going down to all steps here, and also from here. So you'll see all the rods here, all the rod holders here as well. And all along out there, you'll see at that tip as well, right there, the very furthest tip, right in the center of the camera, the first one you come to here, you'll see the white poles sticking up, so you will know they do go across there and fish from there as well. Again, these are guys that do this every day, but when you're looking from over there, it is quite impressive to look over here and capture what these steps look like in the cliff. It's quite amazing, as you may have seen in some still shots. You've actually walked with them with us now. You've seen what they're like. You've been down here. No one can really tell you much about here. And what you can now do is come and experience it for yourself. But remember, what you have to go down, you also have to go up. So we're going to make our way back up. When we get to the top, we will do our sign off from up there, just to let you see what is necessary to get back up here. The steepness of it, we don't want to give you any false impressions for you to come down here and get yourself in a situation of where you're stuck, because it is not the easiest of climbs for sure. The tendency is to throw you back from the step. Also gets pretty narrow in some spots. Some of the walls are damp and feel like almost mossy, although there's no moss on them, so just be careful. Most of these walls are usually saturated with sea spray for the majority of the time you come up here. You'll see the breakaways of the plaster and stuff, so watch where you're stepping. Please don't come down here if you have weak knees or anything, because you need to get back up. I was here, my waves hitting in here, I'm shooting straight up, coming over and soaking me on the other side as I was trying to get out. Not a comforting situation at all. So we keep talking about knowledgeable and knowing not what to do, yet here you go here and I did it, so you understand. All right, so that's our comprehensive coverage from Palmetto Bay to Deebles Point. We have picked up, we've done all the other side. We've done, one things we're missing on the other side are a couple of areas, but we've done majority of them. We have some beautiful spots to take you to. We've already taken you to some of them, but we have some more beautiful spots to take you. But this is this section, so this part of the map you can pretty much cover off. You've seen what's offered here. Do you want to come and experience this for yourself? Do you feel it's something that you will call worthy? I do, but then everyone is not the way that we are. I'm pretty safe, you can say, for Jeannette, she would love this as well. So, easternmost point of the island, Raggy Point Lighthouse. That's it right there, East Point Lighthouse. You know the other side of here is two bays that we took you to, have these hidden spots up there. We have enough in our library. And then you will have Culpeper Island, Skeets Bay, etc. They're just around the point, so more of that in a later date. But that's where we walk from today. You know how far it is? A long walk. So, break it up in two. Park by Coles Road if you want to walk, park by Raggy Point, walk to Coles Road, then go down, park from Palmetto Bay, walk back to Coles Road, so you can cover the whole thing, but in safe parking. Remember, there are some places that you don't want to park a car, and it's not saying it's going to be broken in, but there are no people's eyes around. There's nothing to be seen, so we don't want you to park, leave your car in a vulnerable spot, or find yourself going back to your car when it's parked in a vulnerable spot. So a lot of the, or some of the most important things to remember when you're doing these vlogs, well, journeys, videos, whatever, walks, hikes, is that you look at safety first and then plan around your safety. So always use the safety as the foundation. Find a good park, find somewhere that's relatively safe. Now, nowhere is 100% safe, but where I have parked now, I'm on the outside of Palmetto Bay, some of the houses up there, right on the lay-by, that all of them can see me from the upstairs window, and some of them have cameras up. So that's the best that I can do. So I practice my serenity by doing the best that I can do, and then I leave the rest to happen. So that's how I recommend you do it. Parking up here, I would not park here. We have parked here and walked down to Deebles Point, Jeannette and myself, a few times. However, it's way away from everything, and getting to this exact point, very, very rough. So If you are wanting to see Deebles Point, you're going to need to park out here, park maybe a little bit further back where people can see you. Housing area is developing, so very soon you'll be seeing quite easy all around, and then walk over to here and go down and check it out. You know, thanks for joining. I have to say, Jeannette and myself and all of those who are on the journey to 4-6, because it's their spirit and their love and all of their positiveness that's in me as I'm doing this walk. I feel as though I'm walking with you. I don't feel as though I'm walking by myself. I honestly feel as though I'm on a live vlog, because that's the way we deal with it. We're talking to you as though you're here, because in our heart, your spirit and your heart is in us. So therefore, we're not walking alone, we're walking with others. Have a blessed day. We love you from myself, from Jeannette, from the journey to 4-6. We hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. If you have and you've not subscribed, please subscribe. If you've subscribed, please turn on your notifications, so when we do go live, you'll be a part of that journey as well. Our next official project will be tomorrow afternoon from Q&A Community at Pelican Island. If you're in the island, come and visit us there. We are not doing a preamble today because we've done numerous preambles there and nothing can change. The structure doesn't allow for any difference in setup, so it's going to be the same thing. We will announce that later on, so people don't wait on our live. We will do that a little later on, closer to our usual live time, so people understand we're not carrying it and why we're not carrying it, and we'll also tell them how to find it as well. So if you're on the island, you're not going to see this video between now and tomorrow, but I am hoping that we will get our spirits out there to you, and you'll know we'll be at Pelican Island tomorrow. So that is the Wednesday or the Thursday. Pelican Island will be tomorrow's Q&A Community. Again, thank you for being our companions. Thank you for bringing your spirit and your energy and your love to our journey, because you help us to make this journey what it is. We are going to continue on our journey regardless, because this is where we get healing from. We have come from very, very dark places into places of light now. So we will continue with this journey, but we would love you to join us and walk with us, because we need your energy and your love, and also we most definitely need your spirit. And you'll have a blessed day. Love you all from the journey to 4-6, Jeannette, myself, and everyone else. Catch you later. Love from Barbados.